Can you say that their religion was solely responsible for the thing and that it is the reason that it happened? No, you can't. It's too fucking complicated for you to come to that conclusion without straight up words from that person. Before we talk about Dr. Carolyn, we do have to get into the fan art section, as per usual. So the first one we have here is from Unseen, also known as Doom Prophet. Said, feel free to skip Suction Cup, Suris. I'm sorry, but I'm not allowed to. I am legally obliged when fan art is put in and it is not 18 plus. It does get shown. And yeah, abandon all hope. There, Suction Cup Suris exists in the fan art section. I can't, no. We also have this one from Maki Himiko. If this isn't the right channel, let me know. But this meme is going around, and I made it because I'm funny, apparently. Thank you, Maki Himiko. I'm not going to be saying the things on this meme because one of those words do not get uttered on this channel, and I have never been forced to utter it ever on this channel, ever. Do not fall for the propaganda that chat tries to levy at you, where one of these two illegal words are concerned. Kitsune, thank you very much for redeeming your points for an Owo, the legal one, the right side of history. Ivana Dragmeyer, we're gonna have to bust that up now. Gentle fish, you fucking troglodyte! Why on God's green earth? Again! It's happened so many times this stream. For 50,001 channel points, Gentlefish has forced me to become a liar in this video. Oh, woo. Oh, woo. I swear to God, I do not hate my chat. My chat hates me. You see, the relationship actually goes that way to me, not the other way around. I swear, I'm not lying. Audio Senor, thank you very much for redeeming your points for an ada. You fucking degenerate. All of you. Every one of you. Okay, you know what? Just for that, I have to torture you. Every single one of you is getting tortured, and here is the torture. So, if you are not familiar with this tweet or have not seen it go viral yet, boy howdy, am I about to corrupt your brain. So, from Dr. Karlyn Borysenko, for those who do not know who this is, she is a person who politically was aligned with the Democrats for the longest time, and then recently did a shift to the right because apparently the radical left is too crazy for her, and she wants to go where people are more sane. Now, I have a question. If you're goal is to avoid the crazy, why would you say something so just nightmarishly crazy and also stupid?
Everyone who died in the Holocaust chose to die in the Holocaust before they were ever born, because they collectively wanted to understand the experience of ultimate oppression, and that is why Hitler went to heaven.
Now, before I go further into the madness, I want to go ahead and lay out my thoughts on what this is. Dr. Carolyn has this idea that before people are born, their souls choose the ultimate fate at which they go. If you would like another example of this,
I believe that everyone always chooses to live or die. Everyone. Always. Aborted children choose to be aborted. If they choose to be born into human form in the future, then they can. So no, I do not agree with this statement because I do not have a Christian worldview.
And the statement was, do you disagree with this?
I believe a baby is a unique human being entitled to life.
Okay, so this is her way of squaring. This is her way of squaring her stance on abortion. Usually, when we do things like defend abortion, the way we go about it is by appealing to a handful of arguments. Argument 1, at what point does life begin? Argument 2, at what point do we assign personhood? Or argument 3, bodily autonomy, which completely revokes the first two arguments anyway. All three are strong arguments, though I think that the third argument, the one from bodily autonomy, is probably the strongest one because it does not care at what point you assign personhood. It does not care at what point we consider something alive. I think it is the strongest one because it is the one that is always applicable. And yes, the violinist argument is the academic form of the bodily autonomy argument, or the bodily integrity argument, if you're to take the way that Columbian University argues it. Okay, so now we usually go for one of those arguments. Apparently, Dr. Carolyn has a different approach. Her approach is to say that the baby chose to be aborted. Her argument is that a fetus chose to be aborted and that soul exists in such a way that it can just pop into another body afterwards. Now, I believe that this is not unlike one of the arguments that I've heard from various Mormon sects before, not strictly about abortion, but about there being angelic souls at one point that choose to be inhabiting human bodies later. That feels like that to me. But at the same time, this is also what you would consider not a good argument. Because here's the thing. Personhood is an argument that everybody has to grapple with. There is not a single person that does not have to grapple with a conversation about personhood. When does life begin? That is another argument that everybody has to grapple with at some point if we're going to have these kinds of conversation. Bodily autonomy and integrity. This is another argument that everybody has to grapple with. Do you want to know what's an argument that not everybody has to grapple with? An argument from a soul, and an argument from a soul that chose to be reincarnated in random bodies. Not everybody has a belief in a soul. Not everybody even believes in souls in the same way. So this argument can only work in her worldview, which feels very fantasy to me. The madness doesn't end. The madness only gets worse. Another tweet we have here,
and I believe that the baby is a spiritual creature that never really dies, and if aborted, can be born again if it so chooses. Your spiritual beliefs are no more valid than mine. Stop forcing your religion on other people.
This was in response to somebody saying that they believe that a baby is a unique being entitled to life. The leave us alone argument is bonus. It ignores the core role of government to secure inalienable rights. So here's the thing. My response to this argument would be the baby has a right to life, but its right to life, as it is codependent on having access to the mother's womb, does not supersede the mother's right to choose what happens with her womb. Just like if you and I get in a car crash, your right to life does not supersede my right to my bodily autonomy if you need a blood transfusion and I have the same blood type. Your right to your life does not supersede my right to my kidneys if you have double kidney failure and you need one of my kidneys to survive. The right to my body and my body parts, for the woman, her womb, supersedes yours. It gets even more muddied when we talk about the fact that this is a potential life and not an actual life yet. That is being in the waters a little more. Irregardless, that is my response to that. Apparently her response was to say that babies don't actually die. Now, here's the thing here. This means that if somebody were to go on a school shooting spree, every child victim chose to die. That is the logical end result of this mode of thinking. You believe that everyone chooses to live or die. This is a victimless world. And yes, the shooter goes to heaven, which is its own pile of strangeness. But per these arguments, nobody should be held accountable for any actions ever, because every bad thing that has happened to anybody at any point, they consented to without their knowledge. This is a mindset that can excuse murder. This is a mindset that can excuse rape. This is a mindset that can excuse anything. Because, again, a person in spirit apparently always chose all of this to happen to them always at all times. And it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. And then, of course, she talks about people controlling their body, dictating their religion, all that other fun stuff. It's not that I disagree with this tweet. It's that there is a better thing for us to look at. Did you know, for a little while, somebody who I respect a lot, despite issues we've had in the past, a lot of disagreements that we still have, and the fact that 3 years ago I used to make content on this person and those videos were the biggest videos that ever happened to be on my channel, Hunter Avalone. Also, Salem, yes, she's being serious. She's being serious. But Hunter Avalone had a agreement, a truce with Dr. Carolyn. And this is the moment where that truce was broken. And again, I have a lot of respect for Hunter for being able to draw that boundary here.
Because again, I'm not saying that this has happened.
Your belief system resulted in the Holocaust.
I'm not saying that this has happened.
Your belief system is justifying the Holocaust.
Karlyn, you know,
So, we have a fun bit here. We have the Hitler was an atheist trope. Let's go ahead and make one thing absolutely clear. Hitler was a politician, first and foremost. He also allied himself with the Catholic Church at the time. What Hitler's religious beliefs were largely changed based on the people he was talking to. He would give the answer that religion was bad. He would give the answer that the divine existed, but nobody knows the nature of it. He would give different answers because at the end of the day, dude was a politician. The last thing that I would say that he was definitively would be an atheist. And yet Dr. Carolyn here with the smug victim blaming tweets wants to sit here and do this. But continue on.
It's not really very fair to just talk over someone if you're trying to have a conversation with them.
Well, you know, I'm playing by the rules you set, dude. I came into this conversation with good faith, ready to have a
I am
nice
being
civil
extremely good faith.
You're
not
you're
letting
the one
me
saying
answer
that
questions
my
or
belief
ask questions.
system has justified something that's never happened.
No.
When I can point to the Holocaust
putting
and
words in
say
my
that
mouth
Hitler
again.
Hitler was an atheist, and
You're putting
therefore
words in my
your
mouth.
belief system justified the
First of all,
Holocaust. Congratulations.
So here's the thing. Even if Hitler was an atheist, let's go ahead and do good faith, because she wants to talk about good faith. Let's go ahead and do good faith here for a moment. Were Hitler an atheist, can you then say that his atheism caused him to start the Holocaust? And the answer is no. Unless you can find in writing some point where Hitler said, God is not real, therefore I'm justified in doing all of this. You can't make the connection. And that is not something that he said in his speeches. That is not something that he wrote in Mein Kampf. That is not something that came out of Hitler's mouth, to my knowledge. If you want to correct me in the comment section, by all means, but please have a cited source if you're going to do so. You can't get to the conclusion that even were Hitler an atheist, his atheism led him to do X thing. Let me give you an example. A Christian goes to a card shop and buys a Magic the Gathering booster pack. Can you say that his Christianity led him to buy the booster pack? Well, if an atheist goes and buys that same type of booster pack, and then a pagan goes and buys that same kind of booster pack, and then a deist goes and buys that same type of booster pack, can you say that their religion was solely responsible for the thing and that it is the reason that it happened? No, you can't. It's too fucking complicated for you to come to that conclusion without straight up words from that person. Unless the Christians said that they prayed and they wanted a Tiamat from their Adventures in the Forgotten Realm booster, and God said that this booster would give them their Tiamat, you don't have the ability, based on the information you have, to come to that conclusion. Likewise, Dipshit McGee here cannot come to that conclusion based solely on their idea that Hitler was an atheist, even if he was.
Okay, do I get a chance to talk?
Your belief system justified the murder
do you want me to
of 6
just mute you
million
so you can finish conversation?
So I'm just gonna, Dr. Carolyn, if you stumble on this video, can we talk about the types of people who have a belief system that justify the killing of 6 million Jews? You see, I am justified in doing something to someone if they consent to it. If I want to do it and they consent to it, then the thing that I do to them is justified. This is kind of how our social contracts have worked for a pretty long time. Based on this, from her mouth or from her fingers, everybody who ever died consented to it. And they consented to the way in which it happened. Yes, this is in fact the way someone would justify that. This is in fact the way someone would justify the Holocaust. But go off, Queen, I suppose.
Conversing, again, Hitler's atheism beliefs did not lead to anything to do with the Jewish genocide. Second of all,
really? Oh, really?
Second
Hitler
of
held
all,
a belief system, and it didn't have
Karlyn,
anything to do with him killing 6 million Jews.
Karlyn,
Sure.
Yeah. I guess her name is Karlyn, not Carolyn. Either way. Yeah, no, you can't just go from point A to point B without there being some thoroughfare between the two here. You can't just say, yes, he had this religious belief, therefore everything he ever did in life was influenced by that belief. That's not how that works. Sometimes our actions are informed by our religious beliefs. Sometimes they are not.
you're putting words in my
Okay.
mouth again.
Oh, sure.
I did not say that your belief provided a justification. Past tense. I said it's possible that it can provide a justification, and that's what one of the dangers of this belief system seems to be, that you provide a level of justification for people that are committing heinous acts. Just if that's never happened on a large scale on a fucking genocide doesn't mean that this is not a potential problem with this belief system.
Well,
so
unlike
you are
atheism-
actually being bad faith
unlike
right now by demanding I
atheism-
provide this like hyper-specific
unlike
thing and then saying Hitler
atheism-
was motivated by atheism to commit the
Unlike
Holocaust.
atheism, there has not ever been one single mass atrocity in human history attributed to my belief system. Hitler was an
Is
atheist.
this all you have?
Atheism justified the Holocaust. Therefore, your belief system
Congrats,
justified the
you've never
Holocaust
done the
more than mine.
Holocaust. Congrats, I guess. You've never done the Holocaust. It's just that what
I'm
you
just
seem to
playing
be
by the
getting at
rules
right
you
here is
said,
ultimately
Hunter.
that they are making a decision.
This is a person that people apparently respect. This is a person that people apparently look up to. This is a person that we're supposed to take seriously. They have a doctorate. Also, yes, Mass Creation Broadcast, if you wanted evidence that yes, in fact, this person does believe this batshit shit, I hope this has provided that it was not satirical. I sincerely hope this meets your burden of proof.
To be holocausted on spiritual form, which in the only
They're
logical
making
follow
everyone
through.
makes every decision. In
Yes, and the only logical
spirit
follow
form.
through there is your.
There it is. That is her actually saying it with her own words. Not a tweet that could have been forged, not something that could be struck from a record. That's her words. Every decision we all make in spiritual form beforehand. That's it. And yeah, Hunter does not know enough about the topic to call it out outright, but he is doing his best here. He is doing his best. Hunter is not the best debater, but neither am I, to be fair.
Your desires are being filled out by someone else, even if it's a heinous act, which provides a level of justification. That is what I'm getting at. That's it.
Hitler was an atheist. Atheism justified the Holocaust.
All right, well, I can definitely say that this conversation your belief system has resulted in a genocide of my brain cells. So, thank you. I don't.
And yeah, that. I just have to wonder why is it that she believes that? Well, is it because I'm going to try not to armchair psychology too much, because that's not fair. I can't get into her head. I can't think the things she's thinking. I don't have that ability. But I feel as though this is the type of belief system that somebody defaults into when they can't square the fact that the world is a mass of contradictions, that the world is a massive pile of absolute garbage that we as human beings individually have to sift through, and sometimes we have help from others in doing it. I've seen a lot of really heinous things justified because somebody could not square that circle. Reminds me of Computing Forever converting to Christianity and win the culture war. Yeah, that. Like, it reminds me of back when I was a Christian and I justified the end result of terrible things that happened to people who I cared about because it was all part of God's plan. Like, it reminded me of that. It's a lot of that. And that's not fair to the victims. And it's a thing that in retrospect, I can look back and realize that it was completely nuts and just horrible. She believes in absolute predestination, some form of it. Dropping left nut 1. Thank you very much for the follow. Greatly appreciated. But now that we know that that level of idiocy, idiocy, that one is a thing. Now I want to know what you guys think. In the comment section below, let me know what your thoughts are on this lovely bit of info, whatever you want to call it. Oh, geez. And if you want to support my channel and what I do, there's plenty of ways to do so in the description below. You have plenty of ways, including hitting the subscribe button, hitting the like button, sharing with your friends, and also going to watch a different video. Insert end of video tagline here.